How annoying for the prosecution attorneys does it have to be to watch witnesses answer questions like you expect?
Correct?
Correct.
And there was contention in that room, correct?
There was.
And they weren't happy with what you were telling them. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement.
I'm going to ask, A, it is leading, and B, I want no reaction. Facial reaction, please.
Describe your meeting
Interesting.
with Mr. Binger and Mr. Kraus in their office.
Overruled.
Please.
I don't know the date off the top of my head, but I was called down to the district attorney's office. I met with Mr. Binger and I don't remember his name.
The individual who's
in the blue. And I was called into a room, sat at a table, handed my police statement, got to read over my police statement, and then I was asked if I would like to add anything to the police statement, and I said I would not. Mr. Binger pulled out a cell phone and showed me a video and also a photo, which was actually one photo that I brought today, and asked me if I knew who a gentleman was in that photo, and I said I did not. And he asked me to, he said, this is Joshua Zeminski. Mr. Binger also has a case with him, and I am subpoenaed for that case also. And he says, well, that's who that is. He put the phone down, he picked the phone back up and says, who is this? And I confusedly said, like, Joshua Zeminski, and he's like, would you like to add that to your statement? And I just felt
wow.
Change my
and as a result, what did you do?
I hired an attorney.
And that's Mr. Rose.
Smart.
Good move.
Smart idiot.
This dude's amazing.
No, he's not an idiot.
No.
Except for the ones that are objected to relevancy. No.
Well, the one that I guess there were two that I sustained objection. The remainder will be received. The two big ones, and then the third big one wasn't even presented. So all the big ones are rejected. Two of the big ones are rejected. One of the big ones was not offered. I'm sure they'll be very happy wherever it goes when they're defined as the big ones. But all of the smaller numbered.
I don't think so.
Is it
He's
the
not
court's
like you,
ruling
Nick.
that size matters?
That was the name of my master's thesis, by the way.
That's fine.
Okay.
Who's your master?
Mr. De Bruin, you said there was a lot of tension in the room when you met with me and Mr. Binger and Ms. Beasy.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you were very nervous?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we did have you read over your statement, right?
Correct.
And we asked if you knew anything beyond that statement.
Correct.
We didn't ask you to change it.
Yes, you did.
So you asked to identify Mr. Zeminski?
Or if I wanted to change any details if I remember anything else throughout that night, and to add Joshua Zeminski.
Now, we met for the case against Kyle Rittenhouse.
It's not perfectly
Is it fair to say
unclear
that
what he's talking
most of the discussion involved Mr. Zeminski?
I would say probably half of it.
Because Attorney Binger is prosecuting Mr. Zeminski for arson.
Apparently.
And you took a number of pictures of that perhaps include Mr. Zeminski, correct?
Correct.
So Mr. Binger was verifying if you knew that was Mr. Zeminski and asked you if you saw him in some pictures.
Is that testimony?
Apparently. And
it's like testimony.
And I did not know who Joshua Zeminski was.
It's never good when most of your cross is spent trying to say, hey, we didn't do anything unethical when we spoke to you. That's screw the case. Don't prosecute us.
Look at Binger's face.
Why would
his case against Zeminski is being torched?
So your testimony is that the state
torched, good word.
Case against Kyle Rittenhouse wanted you to present incriminating evidence against Mr. Zeminski?
I don't know why he asked me that question. I found it odd too.
Is it possible you didn't understand the question?
No, he was pretty clear.
And then you said you went and you hired an attorney.
I did.
How did the meeting end?
What do you mean?
What
I mean, how did our meeting end?
I
What
mean,
a dumpster fire.
No, I can't ask for an attorney. I mean our meeting in my office with Mr. Binger and Ms. Beasy.
It ended with Mr. Binger saying that he would be in touch with me in regards to the Zeminski case.
Because we indicated that we would subpoena you for that case.
You did subpoena me for that case.
And that was the absolute end of the meeting?
That I recall.
Do you remember that afterwards you and I spoke about your photography and I complimented your photography? We talked about your photography?
That was in the beginning.
What?
And at the end?
Mostly in the beginning because we were waiting for Mr. Binger to get in the room because, I don't know, Heather, maybe?
Do you remember I was being really nice to you?
Was in the room and we were just waiting for Mr. Binger to get in the room.
You can't fight with an eidetic memory.
So we
You
never
said
asked
we'd
you
be
to put
friends.
anything in about or change anything about Kyle
I
Rittenhouse.
gave you that juice box.
Not specific. No.
Because Kyle Rittenhouse, that name doesn't even appear in your statement, does it?
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
And so the discussion about changing statements, did we actually ask you to retype your statement out?
No.
So what do you mean we
really?
asked you to change it?
I'm assuming there wasn't details.
Bad question.
I'm assuming either add Kyle's name or because I was also showing a video off of a cell phone by Mr. Binger. I don't know what that video or whose video that was, but it was of the shooting. And that's when I was asked
Keep
if I wanted
going.
to add anything
Keep
else.
elaborating.
Statement, and I said no.
And you took that literally, like actually writing out your statement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did not take that to mean, is there anything your statement doesn't cover or that we
Oh
should
my
know?
God. Fat boy, let it go.
I don't mean this
You said
in a
literally
mean way.
to
Have they
retype
never
the
talked to
statement
someone
that you
who
took November
has
11th?
Well,
autism?
He didn't say retype it, but he said, do I want to add anything to that? And to how I interpret that, that's pretty much altering my
These guys are
statement, and
capable of lying.
I felt uneasy about that.
Seriously.
You added things to your statement on the stand today.
That
we're
was
gonna beat up on
because
that.
I recall in videos of certain things happening that when the day I gave my statement, when I walked to the police station, when I walked into that police station, there wasn't even a glass door on that.
So how is,
building.
I'm sorry, how is that different than what Attorney Binger asked? Did you want to add anything? How is that any different
He was
than asking if you remember other things?
This guy digs pretty well for someone who doesn't look like he gets a lot
I-
of exercise.
When I had a meeting with Mr. Richards the following night, I want to say, the following day, around like maybe 3:30 at his office.
Mhm.
And
He remembers the
I
time.
was
even.
also showing videos
Yeah,
there.
sure Krause
And
isn't
prior to
low
things
for the defense.
happening in those
This is-
videos, I was saying things that actually were just about to happen. And he asked me, do you mind if I bring this up? And I said, absolutely. But I did not change. I did not alter that statement. I did not write a new statement out.
So no
Like
one
I said
asked
before,
you to write a new
he
statement.
comes across as such
No,
a
not to
sincere,
write a new
genuine,
statement, just
kind-hearted
add.
person.
So
It's
we
Well,
both-
hard
alter.
to impeach
both
him,
asked the
and
same
he's
thing.
trying to go
You
hard on
more
him, and I don't think
beyond
it's
what your
working.
statement
I don't know about you guys.
But the way Mr.
Well, the guy's not
Binger
lying.
wanted it,
Right.
I mean,
how
you go
he
hard on
portrayed
what
it
you
to
want
me
but
was
he's not
to
lying.
add on to my statement physically. Mr. Richards just took note.
Did someone ask you to type out a new statement?
Oh, let's just
You
type
hard-
out shit.
Typing.
You have a bias in this case, don't you?
Whoa.
You don't want Mr. Rittenhouse to be found guilty or not guilty?
Oh, wait a minute.
Objection.
To be found guilty or not guilty?
You
What
don't
kind of
you
question
you don't
is
have an
that
interest
shit?
or a bias in which way this trial comes out?
I don't know. I'm
Did
a
you-
photographer, photojournalist. That's what I do. I take photos.
Did you go and give an interview to a gossip site that is biased against the district attorney?
Biased?
Jesus
what?
Oh my God.
So you actually went to the media or someone who claims to be media to talk about this meeting with the prosecutors.
First of all, he came to me. I didn't go to him.
Oh my God.
Did the
I
defense
understand that he is
take a
biased.
break
Night stream
that
with
no one else
Nicolas
took?
I don't know. I don't know him personally. I'm sorry.
Who is he even talking about that he's supposed to appear on?
Let's do this. We need to take one more break before the day's done. Anyway. So why don't we take just a 10-minute break?
Nice.
Talk about
And maybe Mr. Farley will get his shit
Kraus
together.
might be about to get his
He's
ass
getting
handed
elbowed
to
on the
him.
ropes right now. I mean,
He's going to go down and get his notes from the place where he lives down by the river in a van.
And he might actually get snappy at the judge again like he did yesterday.
What the hell is
And
he
you wouldn't
thinking?
imagine that a guy who's 6'4", 112 pounds could take out that kind of girth, but he's burying him.
Eidetic
Honestly-
memory. You don't mess with that. You don't mess
Yes.
with that. I'm sorry. You don't fuck with that.
Explain that. You're onto saying something serious.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
this guy has expressed like an eidetic memory, basically perfect
Photographic
recall
memory.
of so much stuff, and then he's got a very specific lensed interpretation that is extremely literal. I don't know if he's autistic, but it's characteristic of someone on the autism spectrum to tend to take things literal without nuance. And this guy has that. It's obvious. And so
it's not only that, it's obvious that these prosecutors knew that.
Yes, because they talked to him before. They interviewed him before.
And they figured they could trick him.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay.
Speculation on it. He's asking what he knows about an unnamed reporter's bias.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. That he can testify about somebody else's bias.
I asked if he knew about his bias.
Well, what is it? What does that mean? Do you know about the bias?
I can break it. I can ask a different way.
That would be good.
You could also abandon this line of questioning. Your Honor, what's the relevance?
Just run for the hills.
Why don't you go to details about the shooting or any of the facts relevant to the case as opposed to how unethical
let's
you were in
highlight how
interviewing this guy?
sleazy the prosecutors have been acting
but we need to
by
back up on
cross-examining.
It's a lot of CYA here. It's a lot of CYA.
Yeah,
that's a
there
big
were.
A, by the way.
They look
They have
terrible.
a really big A.
Ron, you were saying right before the judge started speaking.
All right.
He just
No
looks
further
angry.
questions. That's the only thing you should say. No further questions.
Yep.
Sit down.
Or ask about the actual details of the case.
Blogger approached you.
Yes.
To this blogger. Why do we care about a blogger?
He's gonna do it.
We don't. We never have.
He,
This blogger's going to be thrilled.
can you repeat the question?
Do you know how he found out that you had something to say?
What do you mean something to say?
Well, you said he approached you. Do you know how he knew to approach you?
Yikes. He's so
He
angry.
was at my attorney's office.
Did you waive attorney-client privilege so that your attorney could talk to him about it?
Whoa.
He wasn't in the meetings with my
Schmuck. You
with
big moose.
You
This
walked by
witness
your
is
attorney's
way
office.
smarter than the attorney.
He was at my attorney's office, just not in conversations in regards to
He was waiting for
why
me
I
to
was
talk.
there.
And you know this blogger and your attorney have a very close business relationship?
I do not.
Objection.
You know anything about this blogger?
Foundation.
I do not.
So why did you talk to him?
He was with the media.
You talked to all media
This
that
guy
have
is part
contacted
of
you?
the media.
Judge, get involved in this
You know
case.
this blogger has posted.
No.
I don't know.
Let me finish the question.
Which blogger?
It's turning
You know
it's
this
turning the
blogger
process.
has posted many articles.
Object.
Why?
He wants
They're going to let them
to
skewer themselves in front of the jury. Why
I-
object?
Yeah,
They don't
yeah,
need to protect
yeah.
this
You
witness.
You might
Exactly.
be right. You might
This
be-
witness is protecting himself.
mostly
You
posted
get
in
the-
my
you
office,
get the
his
price.
attorney's office.
I do not know this.
Agreed.
Did you do any research about who this person was before you spoke to him?
No.
No.
Yeah, I
Yep,
agree.
now
Why
he's
object when you're
objecting.
winning? Oh.
Yes. Because nothing's going to hurt the defense. It hurts the prosecution acting like
On
this.
that topic.
Perfect.
So,
I'm
no,
sorry.
on that topic, no, just on that topic. Thank you. So, would you describe our meeting in the DA's office as cordial and uneventful?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Oh, my
Besides
gosh.
the uneasy feeling I had.
So when we asked you to
I,
add or beyond your statement,
I'm going to adopt this guy.
when Attorney Richards asked you the next day, let me back it up. So we asked you, you felt that
Let me back it up. I wasn't prepared.
really
Back it
anything.
way up.
Fair to say.
Correct, because I didn't want to change it.
So then when Attorney Richards asked you the next day if you have anything to add to your statement, you tell him all sorts of things.
He didn't present it to adding my statement. He said, "Can I take notes?" He didn't use the word statement like I'm changing my statement.
So that the verbiage is what made you uncomfortable.
Correct.
Did he have you read your statement before you talked to him?
I just read it the night before.
Okay, so
I already knew.
So the fact that you physically had your statement with us is what made you uneasy.
Correct.
Okay.
You're laughing, boy.
So
You're
now
laughing.
we're talking about your statement. Let's show you what is marked as.
Agony.
Do you recognize this?
Yes.
He's so pissed. He practically threw
That
it
is
at him.
the police statement I gave on 9/11/2020.
And this is the one that we asked you to read in my office.
Correct.
And
when you tried to have me change.
You make no mention at all of Mr. Rosenbaum having to be held back.
Because this was taken on 9/11, I was a year prior to this when I walked into a building that I really didn't even want to be in. But the ATF, however you guys work on your cases, it was brought to you guys, not me voluntarily. The ATF brought it to you and got you guys involved.
By you guys, you mean the detective that's investigating this case?
Yes. I had a homicide detective over at my house.
So you gave the statement on September
Name one
11th,
element of any of the charged crimes that's been addressed in this
memory
cross-examination.
of the events was better on September 11th, 2020?
Pretty much the same. You're not going to forget this situation ever.
Well, then why did you forget to put things in your report?
Objection!
First of all, it was, like I said, when I first walked into the police station, I walked through a police station that didn't even have a door. Didn't have no glass attached. There was glass on the ground, completely all shattered on the ground. I have photos, don't worry. Guys have been waiting constantly.
got
I had
receipts.
to wait
He
to
came
get my
with
statement
receipts.
because they couldn't get a hold of Detective Howard. So when he came in, it was a really
Paging
I
Dr.
don't wanna
Howard.
say
Paging
rushed,
Dr. Howard.
but it wasn't take your time type of deal.
You were there for, your statement was an hour and a half long.
Don't know what.
Right?
I don't know how long it was.
And they were in the room within 5 minutes of you walking in the
I don't
the
believe
interrogation
that.
room. So your explanation for why your statement leaves things out is because you walked through a door without a window?
No,
Rude.
I was trying to explain how nervous and anxious I was because, I mean,
I'm a human.
all around that area, just local businesses are being destroyed. Everything.
Oh my God.
And to be walking
So
into
good
a
for the
police
defense.
department in the middle of this time isn't good. I was threatened numerous times throughout the week of me photographing and capturing all these photos. I was threatened numerous times, so I was uneasy with people still standing outside the police department, walking in, knowing I have to walk out with these people out here.
So you gave this statement 17 days after the shooting. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
And you're still saying that property was being destroyed and there were protests
There was
7 days later? Let me finish my question, please.
Oh,
That's
man.
Oh, not a good look.
Not
hot.
to the extent of the week of the shooting, nothing to that extent, but there was no window in the police station.
So the fact there was no window.
Let it go, man.
You could not give
Yesterday we saw a murder. Today we're seeing a suicide.
People outside could see him.
Yeah, so make sure you say what I'm saying.
He's angry. Oh my God. Wow.
Things were left out of your statement.
Not intentionally. I mean, those are little
things out.
details. That's a traumatic situation that someone has to go through. I just witnessed someone dying, and another person getting their arm almost blown off.
17 days prior.
Doesn't matter how long it is. I still suffer from that traumatic still to this day.
Do you have? You said you've been nervous. You said you were anxious. Does that really affect your perception of events?
Oh my God, he just doesn't let go. What a schmuck.
You know, I was critical of the defense on some of their cross-exam. I thought they should have pushed
right now,
harder, done some other stuff to some of the witnesses.
Right now.
And this is why you probably don't do
when you
that.
spoke to us in our office?
It's
Just
bad.
let this shithead go on and on and on.
Now, you in your statement, there's no mention of Mr. Rosenbaum having to be held back.
Correct.
There's no mention of him saying anything about shoot me N-words.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure, sorry. There's
We've
nothing
seen
in
the
there
video.
about saying shoot me N-words.
Correct.
Are you disputing that was
And
said?
is that because you saw it on a video later?
But he
When
did.
I was showing a video at Mr. Richards' office, as the video was playing, I was telling things that was happening before the video was actually playing. Like, I don't know, before the details that I said coming out my mouth happened on the video.
So did you observe him say that, or did you see it on video?
I heard him say it, and what's your question?
As you were there that night, did you see Mr. Rosenbaum say that?
Yes.
Or is that
See
based on
him say
video
something?
after?
No, I saw him.
Sit down.
Oh, I
It's just
heard
getting worse.
But it's not in your
Look at
statement.
Binger too.
Correct.
Look at Binger.
Binger should be telling him, like, sit
There's
down.
nothing in your statement about seeing Mr. Rittenhouse walk down to car source.
You should be texting someone in his office to pull the fire alarm.
Like, those details, I'm not investigating, I don't know to get those details. I'm sorry.
So this homicide suspect and his actions seconds before the alleged homicide, that's a little detail?
You
remember going back, I didn't. This whole situation got blown out of the water when the ATF got involved.
Oh my
And
God.
I was so many people showing up at my house, showing up at my job. The FBI showed up at my job and asking me questions. So when this statement was given, I gave it to the best recollection of my memory that I could, with everything else that was going on around me in my life at that time regarding
the anxiety
You'd
and the
agree
intimidation
watching
of law
a homicide
enforcement.
suspect walk up to the scene of the first homicide is not a little detail?
Oh my God.
I was stressed out at the time. I'm sorry.
Does he think the next question is going to make this go better?
Wait, he's the word
you
victim.
testified
He's just a
with
bully.
Mr.
This
Richards
guy's just a bully.
that you
You gotta
saw
remember saying the word
Mr. Grosskreutz point his gun at Mr. Rittenhouse?
Yes.
That's nowhere in your statement.
Correct.
There you
so
go.
that wasn't important to include on September 11th?
Like I said, I'm not a detective.
You're asking me the questions,
But you can tell
motherfucker.
you gave us this about tipping over a porta potty. Is that more important than someone pointing a gun at a homicide suspect?
Oh my God.
No, but it's easier to remember when I captured the photos.
So true.
To remember.
This guy is...
Man, this guy's landing some blows.
So are these your memories?
this
or are
witness
these
is
what you've
obviously
seen on
pissed.
photos and you've changed your memory
Give up,
or
Tubbs.
altered your memory because of the photos?
Well,
No,
it shows
that's
the
not what he
advantage
said.
of being
Probably a little
polite to
both,
your
but
witnesses. I mean,
nothing's altered.
they're adversarial
So
now,
you had a
and
camera on you
the
that
witness
night?
is way better than the attorney.
That's how I would have got those
Yep.
photos.
And did that
More
take
credible.
photos and video?
It did.
So
They should take away his
you
law
watched
degree and
this
give it to the
scene unfold in
witness.
front of you with people chasing Mr. Rittenhouse?
I did.
Did you turn your camera on? He said I did.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
Did you turn your camera on
To take photos?
to take anything?
No. I didn't. If there's a video of, I don't know whose video. Excuse
Well,
me.
I'm talking about your video. Did you turn your camera on?
No.
He should have
No.
said, "Let me finish."
No. It's a very chaotic situation,
Well, you're there to document things, aren't you?
and I'm not a professional.
Ooh.
So, in your statement, it says nothing about Gage pointing the gun, correct?
Correct.
In fact, you said
He's going to keep hearing this.
Anthony walked
These
through the
facts
2
are
3 steps and
disputed.
collapsed. That's when I stepped back. I was at the corner house on the southwest corner of Sheridan 61st Street at this time. That's what you said?
Correct.
I hugged the north wall of the house for cover. Is that correct?
Correct.
But somehow from hugging the north wall of the house, you saw what happened with Mr. Grosskreutz?
That was, by the time I got to the house, everything was done. That's how fast that happened. I didn't even get out of the street. I was still in the street when he was shot, when Grosskreutz was shot. I'm sorry.
All you say about the shooting is,
Good
I
fact.
saw Gage get shot in the arm and it was a mist of blood. That's all you say about the interaction between Mr. Grosskreutz and Mr. Rittenhouse.
Correct.
So that was important to say, but nothing else regarding that incident.
Like I said, I'm not a detective. I don't know what you guys look for. I'm sorry that I left that out.
Should have asked me better
It's
questions
the
in
first
my
time I
interview.
ever had to do anything like this.
Wow.
He's doing a great job as a witness.
Oh, such a great job.
If
Even
Brian
talking
Stelter
loaded-
and Brian
Well, how'd
Stelter
you
had
know
a
it was
baby,
loaded?
they
I
would do
watched
this
him.
cross-examination. This is what they would look like this and they ask these questions.
know if he had
If Brian
ammunition in
Stelter multiplied himself, this is what
I know
happened.
how firearms work. The slide would have stayed back if there was no ammunition in it.
Did you watch him load the gun?
No.
He's just going down his list of questions. At this point, abandon the fucking list.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sit
Now,
your
when
ass
you
down.
Fire,
are
put it
given a
out.
statement by a detective, they tell you to put everything in it that's important, right?
Oh God, he's going back.
Why?
Through my eyes.
Can't let it go.
You
Uh-huh.
signed
Yeah,
a statement that says
He's
this
a
statement
bully.
is being
He-
typed
he's
for
a
me by
classic
Detective
bully.
Martin
He's not
Howard of the
persuaded.
Kenosha
He's
Police
just gonna-
Department, and is a true
He's
and
got his
accurate
ego
account
in
of my
it.
statement to him.
This
He
is an
just made
ego
a
Find
thing
that
for
on
him.
the
point.
top of each page.
It is.
Yeah.
Or
This
top of
witness
the
made a
first
great
page?
point and said this was what was important
I
through
nothing
my
at the
eyes.
top
I don't know
of
what's
the page,
important,
at the bottom
essentially,
of the page.
for you.
All right, so let's go
So
there.
he
You
keeps saying,
signed
don't you
at
think
the
it's
bottom,
important? He's like, I think
I have made
what
the
I
above
said's
statement
important.
without any threats or promises.
I don't know what
It is
you
my
think's
desire
important.
to state the true facts
Right.
as to this incident.
And it just makes the
I have read
prosecutor
the
look like
above
a dick
statement
that
and
he
find
keeps
it
hammering
true
at.
and
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
And it's,
Definite
and it's,
small
it's
D
an
energy.
unindictable
Yes, sir.
position. You can't.
And the
you
statement
can't
on
say,
top,
well, your position's wrong.
would also indicate
because
that
that's
it
what I
should be
think is
true.
important. He's Teflon now. There's nothing.
And
left
this is
to
all
do.
over facts
I
that
don't
really
understand
don't
what you're
matter all that much.
Yeah,
The
but
top of your
the
statement says
prosecutors
this
look
statement is being
bad.
typed for me by Detective Martin Howard.
Oh,
of
on the
Kenosha-
very first page,
If
yes.
I could finish my question, please. She has to type everything.
Rude.
down.
Oh my
So
God.
one person can
Wow.
talk at a time. Thank you.
What a
This statement is being typed
What a
by
dick.
Detective Martin
Yeah.
Howard of the
Yeah.
Kenosha Police Department and is a true and accurate account of my statement to him.
Correct.
He's saying his statement's true. He
Is
just
there
left
anything
out
else you
stuff that
left out of
y'all
the
think's
statement?
more important.
Not to my knowledge.
Do you consider my question to be asking you to change your statement?
Not right now.
If this was in a stadium, there would be chants
He
of
indicated that
a-hole,
Hold on,
a-hole.
a chain and kept it for a while, swinging it around.
Correct.
So you saw Mr. Rosenbaum drop or leave the chain behind.
I don't know when Mr. Rosenbaum separated with that chain.
But you said kept it for a while.
Correct.
So it was gone.
At some point, yes.
None of this matters.
Like when he was in heaven.
Like when he didn't have it anymore.
Probably not there, but anyway.
The thing is, they're going to do this long enough that the last impression this jury will have is the prosecutor being a dick to this witness that has
No.
been nothing but patient.
Yes.
They're
In our
burning
meeting,
Patient, but has stood his ground.
let me ask this.
Yes.
Did you see Kyle Rittenhouse before
Because he's telling the
car
truth.
source lot on that night?
Yes.
And you described him to us as being notable because he was always out alone on his own.
Mr. Rosenbaum?
Mr. Rittenhouse.
Yes.
So you saw him out on his own doing whatever he was doing by himself.
The couple times that I seen him.
It's like he wasn't part of a
And when you
militia or
saw
anything.
Mr. Rosenbaum, you never saw him actually lay hands on anyone?
No.
Never saw him hit anyone?
No.
Never saw him kick anyone?
No.
Never saw him strike anyone with a chain or any other weapon?
No, sir.
Never
Haven't
saw him
raped
with a gun?
anyone.
No.
Did you see him eat a sandwich? 'Cause I like a sandwich now, really bad.
Let me just check the audio. Am I too loud, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Very
I'm turning you down.
It's funny, Nick, because when I went over to my stream, they're like, "Why are you so quiet?" I'm like, sorry."
Let's
turned
try
Now,
this
you
again.
indicated in your statement that as Mr. Rittenhouse is being chased back northbound Sheridan
Just
Road,
stop.
you heard someone say, "You just shot someone. Stop." Is that true?
Yes, it is.
And you say that Anthony and Gage, meaning Mr. Huber, Mr. Grosskreutz, were yelling at Kyle to stop.
Yes.
Kyle did not stop and kept going.
Correct.
Now, in my office, you indicated that you were fearful of an active shooter.
Huh?
I don't know all that.
You don't remember saying that you thought they were trying to stop an active shooter?
I think it's
No.
time
Is
to
he
put the
about to become a
prosecutor on the
witness?
stand.
Stop an active shooter?
Yeah.
They were trying to stop the person that was running.
Did you feel?
At that time, like I said, I don't know. I didn't know what happened at that corner.
lawyer making himself a
So
witness.
you, as a amateur journalist, you were not drawn to go to that location, to the 63rd Street car source.
Is that the one on the corner?
Well, they're all kind of on the corner, but the
Across
one on
from the
63rd,
hospital?
the one on 63rd and Sheridan.
Why don't
yes,
you
I
let the
was
witness
drawn
finish?
towards that.
Okay, but you didn't get there in time to see any of the shooting.
No.
You're not going to find a better question on that notepad. Stop.
Now, you indicated that Mr. Rosenbaum said, I just got out of jail and I'm not afraid to go back, or something to that level.
Yes, sir.
Do you know if he got out of jail or not?
At the time, I did not know.
Does this open the door?
You said you saw him have a small plastic water bottle that night?
I saw a plastic baggie.
Did you? And you told us in our meeting that you saw a plastic bottle in the baggie?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Rosenbaum, when he made that comment, you didn't see Kyle Rittenhouse around.
No.
When he was at the 59th Street Ultimart, and he was saying what's not in your statement, but you have said, shoot me N-word and have me restrained. You didn't see Kyle Rittenhouse around.
No, I did not. There was many people.
Keep watching Binger in the background. This is funny to watch.
Okay.
Yes.
He's checking.
He's suffering inside.
He's checking for prosecutor openings
said-
in Guam.
I didn't quite hear when Attorney Richards was saying, did you say you had a picture of Mr. Rosenbaum by a cone on fire?
Yes.
Like a traffic cone?
Well, he's in the background just outside the driveway of the gas station.
I think I see a
trying to
dumpster on
tell what
fire.
it is. Is it a traffic cone or what is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Construction cone, I guess.
Construction
you could say.
cone?
Yeah.
Now, you didn't see Kyle Rittenhouse anywhere.
Is it like the one in the
around
movie
there.
Cars? Like the cozy cone?
Not at that time, no.
And right, I mean, at that time, you did not see Kyle Rittenhouse around there. And that didn't threaten anyone's safety relating a traffic cone on fire.
No.
Except for the traffic cones.
That's a devastating point.
I think they're going to win on that
Are
question.
you alleged you saw Mr. Rosenbaum tip
Danger with the
over
traffic cone.
a porta potty?
I did.
Is he about to go back into it again?
He'll phrase his question as he sees fit.
Now, you indicated in your statement that it smelled terrible.
It did.
So that was a detail you felt important to include in your statement.
So genuine. So genuine.
Yes.
Now, when Mr. Rosenbaum tipped over the porta potty, Mr. Rittenhouse was not around.
Not that I seen.
There was no one in the porta potty that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
So that didn't actually endanger anyone's safety.
Another devastating rejoinder
Well,
by
but
the
no,
prosecution.
How is he supposed to attest to that if there's someone in it or
You
falls off
indicated
someone?
that there was a trailer that was lit on fire.
Yes.
Mr. Rittenhouse wasn't around to see that.
Not that I.
Yeah.
Calls for speculation for sure.
Does that affect someone's safety?
You did not see Mr. Rittenhouse around then?
No.
And the trailer was unoccupied?
What do you
I
mean?
don't know.
None of this is going to go to the
There was no one in
self-defense.
it.
There was what?
There was nobody in it?
How would he know?
There could be nobody in it.
It doesn't have an enclosure.
Yeah, it's a flatbed.
So that didn't endanger anyone's safety.
No, unless it tipped over.
Now, you said you saw Mr. Rosenbaum arm himself with a chain. He picked up a chain off the ground or off the trailer?
Off the trailer.
Armed himself is your phraseology?
Yes.
And did you see Kyle Rittenhouse around when he did that?
Not that I am aware of.
And you never saw him swing it at anyone or threaten or anyone with that?
I saw him just swinging it, but it was not directed towards anybody or like any human being.
Even that little win he can't get.
Do you consider handguns or chains more dangerous?
It depends on the circumstance.
I'm not an expert.
Mr. Krause.
Where are you going?
No,
Mr. Cross, you're killing the court.
This has spoken a great deal of what he saw Mr. Rosenbaum do, and I am establishing that he
I have
did
no
not see
idea
Mr. Rittenhouse observe
how I
any
can
of
That
overcome
that.
this
I
objection.
am a giant
Close my
asshole.
eyes.
Which you
Say
consider
words.
is more dangerous, chains or guns?
I'll withdraw that.
Yep, draw yourself.
From the entire courtroom. Just get out of here.
You know, if they zoom in on his notes, I'm betting it's like a stick figure and
I think it's a Subway menu.
You know what? Actually, this cross-examination is sponsored by Southwest.
For,
Want to get away?
He might be ordering the cookies that the judge had the list for.
By the way, Nick, I think Tim Pool is sending you for a link backstage here, so maybe you should.
Did work for a grocery chain?
A while ago, yes.
He keeps
How do you
retweeting
make
you.
your living now?
I work for National Bottling Company.
Okay. So your photography is a hobby, or you're hoping to? You told me you're hoping to become a professional.
Eventually, yes.
Now,
Just get a YouTube channel.
you brought your own exhibit to the watch,
I did.
and the defense didn't ask you to do that. You did that on your own.
I did.
And you know that this case has gotten a great deal of publicity.
Yes.
And you know there are media outlets here covering the trial.
We're all covering you as well here. With
This
the
camera.
Are you trying to indicate
And
that he's trying to get a
You
job?
actually have offered
That's what he's going
your
for.
photographs for sale on that blogger's site who spoke to you.
He put those up.
So are these photographs
Ooh,
for
copyright
sale?
infringement.
If somebody would want them, but I'm not advertising them.
Did you bring your own exhibits because you're trying to enrich yourself with your photography?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're trying
How
to make
dare
money?
you make money on your hobby?
What a
hell outta
and he
here.
sat down
Hold on,
on
That was his
Hold on,
closing
one
question.
second.
Does Kyle Rittenhouse have any significance to you?
Stand up.
Before the 25th?
Yes.
No.
Okay. The night of the 25th before the shooting, did you know who Kyle Rittenhouse was?
I did not. I didn't even know after taking that graffiti picture
Okay.
earlier in the day.
Were you looking for Kyle Rittenhouse to know where Kyle Rittenhouse was in relationship to what Mr. Rosenbaum was doing?
No, I did not know any of those individuals at that time.
And when you met with me in my office, there was a private investigator present, correct?
Correct.
And I asked you what you remembered and took notes, correct?
Correct.
And then I showed you video, correct?
Leading.
Correct.
Stain.
I was there.
They would know.
The private investigator and then myself.
Okay. And what did we do first?
I don't recall.
He's taking it very,
Did I?
very literally.
You come in and did I show you videos right away?
Oh, no. You introduced yourself. You introduced the private investigator. I don't remember his name. And then you asked, like, if I remembered my police statement. And I said I did because it was just refreshed to me by the district attorney's office. And then you asked when did I talk to the district attorney's office? And I said just the day prior. And then we started going into my police statement.
And after I was done going into your police statement with you, then what did I do?
Showed me some videos.
Okay. And in the videos I showed you, were you able to identify yourself?
Yes. I don't know who recorded the videos, but I can identify myself in a video.
And that's not just any video, it's right before the shooting. Is that a fair statement?
Correct.
I don't need to show the video. No. That's all I need. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Don't do a recross.
Get Kraus
Don't
back
do
up there.
Please do.
No.
Do it.
No,
Do it.
no,
You want to.
Come on.
Lumber back up.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
Can we
God.
appreciate that the attorney was accusing this witness of trying to profit
Get a video and say what you
Yes.
saw.
compared
Yeah,
to what
I love
Kraus did?
Yeah.
Round
Does he
of
think
applause
he's
for
gonna
this
sell it?
witness, man.
Yeah, this was legendary, guys.
Look,
Seriously.